So after the game, crew chief David Guthrie. During live play, it was judged that Josh Hart made a legal defensive play. After post-game review, we observed that Hart makes body contact that is more than marginal to Hardaway Jr. And a foul should have been.
Okay, so now Tim should go to the free throw line right now and see if he can make two.
Let me tell you something, man. The NBA, they as much as I love it, and it's given me a great life, that's the stupidest thing ever. Like, yeah. How does that actually help the Pistons coming out later? All you're doing is throwing referees under the bus. Right. Yeah, we know it was a foul. They missed a call. But to act like, put that thing out, we want to be transparent, like, that don't help the Pistons.
But I asked you a question.
All it does is make them more mad.
Make them more mad.
What up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Full Metal Analysis. Emotional weekend, man. This weekend, my emotions was all over the place. I feel like I reined them in a couple of times, then they went back wild again, and then I reined them in again, and I don't know what to do with this, man. Got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about Brad Holmes. I want to talk about the Pistons. I want to talk about Shedeur. But I'm going to ask you, man, where you at? Where you want to start off first? You want to start off with the Lions or you want to start off with the Pistons?
We can go ahead and start off with the Pistons. I'm sitting here. Well, we can start with the Pistons. It's rare that I get you to watch a Pistons game alongside with me. So you watched the last game and you watched this game too. It was a hard fought battle, but in the end, the Pistons lose again. This last time it was 2 points. Now they lost this game by 1 point. What are your thoughts on this loss?
All right. So I feel like I'm gonna be the bad guy, man, in this episode because I got questions, dog. I got questions, and I know I'm only 2 games in the season in, but dog. Okay, so and before I get started, man, I want everybody to know that I've been a Pistons fan since I was like 4 years old. I've been a Lions fan since I've been 4 years old. For all those people in the comments that just read the title and don't even look at the video, I just want y'all to know that I'm a Pistons and a Lions fan through and through. And these comments are not to hate on either organization. But with that being said, dog, first off, I ask you again, dog, is Cade Cunningham a killer? Because as good a game as he had, man, he did not close that game out, man. And at the end of that game, he had a crucial turnover. One of his crucial turnovers, because he had many throughout the game, and he didn't hit that last minute shot. And even though it should have been a foul on that last shot, he's got to hit that shot, man. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to be in the likes of the superstars like Kobe or whatnot, he has to close out that game, man. And dog, I would say that he needs another star on the team, man. He needs a secondary star, and I don't think he should be running point. I mean, I know we were a long time away saying this. I don't think Cade should be running point. And my other takeaways from that game are the Pistons don't pass the ball enough, man. I see the Pistons taking really bad shots, and it's like they're in a rush to do everything, man. It's like they get the ball, and it's like we got to shoot right away. Or hurry up and shoot the ball. Hurry up and shoot the ball. Like, pass the ball around, man. Pass the ball around until you get a clear open shot. I see the Knicks doing that. I don't see the Pistons doing that. I see them in a rush to pass the ball and hurry up and take a shot. Whether it's good, they be taking an off-balance 27-footer with a hand in their face, and 45% of the time they make that shot. But the other times, it's a bad shot. And damn, what was my last point, man? I can't think of it right now.
All right.
Oh, I
Go
got
ahead.
you. Real
Yeah.
quick. This the most controversial one. JB Bickerstaff, dog. Um, I appreciate everything that he's done for the team. He's brought the team a long way. I think he's a great developmental coach. But similar to Dan Campbell, man, should this guy be drawing up the plays? Because the play he drew up on that last possession and just throughout the game, man, I don't see the plays to get guys open that that should be drawn up, man. And I feel like I don't know, maybe he needs an assistant coach that can draw up plays, but that's where I'm at with it, man. Sorry, that was all bottled up. I had to remember everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hit everything in a timely manner. We can start with JB. JB was coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers for so many years. I don't know, 5 years, 6 years. I don't know off the top of my head, but he was in Cleveland for quite some time. And they eventually moved on from him because it was the Rick Carlisle transition to Larry Brown. You know, this guy can only take us so far. We need that next coach to come in and take us over the hump because JB Bickerstaff isn't making the adjustments needed, so on and so forth. So, you know, that I'm not there yet. And a lot of what you said, yeah, you're gonna be the bad guy in this. And it's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
this must be what it's like talking to me when it comes to the Lions, because everything you're saying, I get a sense of, and I'm not mad at you for it, but I get the sense of I want to see it right now. And at the end of the day, it's not there right now. They're getting there. One thing I really agree with you on is Cade does need another star on that team. As far as Cade goes, I understand, but at the same time, I do want you to realize that you are asking for, you asking for your cake and you want to eat it too. You told me that you wanted to see Cade taking that shot at the end of the game, no matter what. But at the same time, his first turnover was because he drew a double team and he had a guy in the corner. I don't know who it was, but Josh Hart, whoever Josh Hart was guarding. Josh Hart came off of his man to make that swipe, and then Cade lost the ball out of bounds. But had Cade kicked it to my man in the corner, he might have had an open shot. And then on the flip side, Cade takes the shot with 5 seconds left to win the game, and he misses it. I'm not gonna hold that against him. If I pull up Cade's numbers real quick, I'm sure, I know you watched the game, and watching the game and looking at the box score is two totally different things. But when you
I
look
think
at
he had about 27.
he had 25. He had 4 blocks. Now he had 7 turnovers. I'm with you on that. He had 7 turnovers, but he had 25 points. He had 4 blocks. He had 10 assists. He had 10 rebounds, and he shot 11 for 23, 3 out of 4 from the free throw line. So he had a game. He had a good game. A triple double.
I'm not arguing that he didn't have a good game. My problem with Cade is not how he plays throughout the game. My problem with Cade is how he closes the game.
I got you. I would say though, was Kobe a closer like that in his 4th year?
No.
No, he wasn't. He wanted to be. He wanted to be, and that's all I can ask for. And Cade wants to be, but he's not there yet. So on that, I would say around year 6, 7. If we still looking at games like this, I'm with you. The other thing that maybe will help you feel better, and I get what you're saying, but the Pistons, this is their style of basketball. I pulled up because they throw the stat out a lot of times during Pistons games. In NBA team fast break points per game. 30 teams in the NBA. Where do you think the Pistons rank as far as fast break points per game?
Where do they rank? I would say middle of the pack, man.
Based on these playoffs, I can understand how you would say that. But when the Pistons are rolling, the Pistons are a phenomenal fast break team. Believe it or not, they are second in the NBA in fast break points, averaging 18.5 per game. Only team that's a better fast breaking team is the Denver Nuggets. They average 19.4 fast break points per team. So when you watch it and you see that they look like they kind of herky jerky, they just get it and go. They're not passing, they're not moving the ball. That's just the style they play. They create turnovers. They when they're right, they're a great defensive team. They create turnovers and they get out on the break. And they knock down threes. That's another thing that you wouldn't be able to tell from watching this series because that three ball is not falling. Malik Beasley finally woke up this series. He's been struggling all series, but he hit like 3 in a row. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, I told my boys just watching the game, it just feels like the Pistons are outmatched. I know you watched Shai Gilgeous-Alexander earlier in the year and you say, oh, you like the way he plays and everything, but you can't tell me that you have not been watching Karl Anthony Towns and thinking like, damn, this guy is one hell of a shooter.
Yeah, man. Them 3 guys, Towns, Brunson. There's one more guy.
Anunoby or Hart.
Yeah, I think it was a no. They're making lights off shots, man.
Yeah,
and their shots are falling. Impossible shots are falling for them, and the same shots are not falling for the Pistons.
yeah.
And back to your point on the fast break guy, and to my point of the Pistons need a secondary star. Listen, man. To your point of what you just said, and and I know you don't agree with me, but you know who would be great as a fast guy, secondary superstar on the Pistons team? Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey will be great in the fast break situation, carrying the ball because what I see is, and it may have been different regular season, but what I see is when they get out on the fast break, they wow with the ball, and as they're running up court, the ball just gets away from them. So maybe Jaden Ivey is the guy that you need to be bringing that ball up like that. That can, because I know you said it's not his game, but it just seems to me that K will be better, not in transition, but have somebody bring the ball up to him and then pass it to him at the top of the key. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not gonna argue there's nothing wrong with that. Steph Curry does. Steph Curry does that. Steph Curry primarily plays point, but it's like every other possession he's playing off ball. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just that getting the full Cade Cunningham experience and getting the full Jaden Ivey experience together on the court at the same time, we have yet to see that. And I don't think that combination is just right for the picking at all.
So tell me this. If you still let Cade Cunningham run the play, but you had Jaden Ivey bring the ball up court, do you think that will cut down on Cade's turnovers?
Yeah, it likely would because he's got the ball in his hand so much during the entirety of the game.
That's what I'm saying, and maybe Jaden Ivey is not the guy, man. But it all arrows point to. He's the guy, but if he's not the guy, you still need a secondary player that is a star to draw attention away from Cade Cunningham. Because another thing that I saw was, and I just want to make this clear, I'm not comparing him to Jordan, but back in the 80s, when Jordan was such a threat, the Pistons would get so physical with him that Jordan couldn't drive the lane because so many guys were hands were on him. And that's kind of the same thing I see with Cade. Like, he's trying to drive to the middle of the lane, and 3 or 4 guys are wrestling with him, and he's wrestling to get the ball up. And sometimes he just kind of throws it up. And if he doesn't get that foul call, then it's just the other team's ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A couple things. One, the problem is not Jay Ivey playing point guard. The problem is that you are making Jay Ivey basically a Robin, and Jay Ivey wants to be the guy. So you got 2 guys on your team that's bring the ball up, and both of them want to be the guy. So where I'm at is, hey, let me get rid of Jay Ivey, let me get another star, and now I got a star, and then I can just go out there and get a veteran point guard to bring the ball up. Dennis Schroeder at the end of these games, it's been Dennis Schroeder and Cade Cunningham on the court at the same time, and Dennis Schroeder will bring the ball up, and it's for the most part, it's, you know, they lost these last 2 games, but I mean, it's not bad. I wish we could get somebody better than Dennis Schroeder, but Dennis Schroeder's been playing really well. He's had a lot of moments. Like we lost by 1 point, and Dennis Schroeder got that steal at the end of like the 3rd quarter, I think it was, and he could have just took it in for a layup, but he passed it to Tim Hardaway Jr., and it was like 1 second left on the clock, and the clock expired, and we lost those 2 points. You know what those 2 points would I mean, you know, you can't look at it like that, but at the same time, though, we lost by 1 point, and that was 2 points we gave away. So Dennis Schroeder will do like brain fart type stuff like that, but at the same time, though, he'll knock down big shots and he'll take care of the ball. He'll get steals. He plays great defense with Jalen Brunson. So yeah, if I could get a star for Jay Ivey and some picks, and then go out and get a veteran like Schroeder to play point guard, I feel like I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And then the other thing, real quick, is you know, the Knicks are the number 3 team in the East for a reason. Tom Thibodeau is one of the most notorious coaches in the league when it comes to playing defense, and I mean, you see it. You know, he plays a old. It's crazy because Jalen Brunson is a foul hunter, but at the same time, he runs his guys, man. Like, the Knicks play the most. The Knicks starting lineup play the most minutes out of any team in the NBA.
Yeah, man. I'm not taking like I said, I'm not taking nothing away from the Knicks. They hit their shots. When it comes down to it, they hit their shots and we didn't hit our shots, and that's what it came down to. But I just feel like you said, man, the games are close. Every game has been close, man. Whether they're a number 3 team in the league or not, without all the mistakes that the Pistons are making, they win the series, man. And you know, despite all of the Knicks hitting all of their shots that they're supposed to hit, the games have been close. Like, you would think with the shot percentages, with the type of shots the Knicks are making, that the Pistons wouldn't even have a chance in these games. And that's not the case, man. I feel like they're right there, and they should have won. It should be reversed, man. Actually, the Pistons should be up 3-1. That's how I feel about it, because I feel like they could have won game 1. They gave that game away in the 4th quarter. They made so many mistakes in that 4th quarter. That should have been a win for them. If they didn't make all those mistakes and they didn't let it get away from them in that game, they should have won that game. And also, they should have won this game. This game, it was right there for you. It was right there for you. You were, like you said, you were 1 point away, and you should have won this game. But you made so many mistakes throughout the game that I'm not saying that the Knicks didn't deserve to win, because they deserved to win because the Pistons was fucking up. And you just can't make all those mistakes, man.
Let me see if I can find this real quick. But I mean, this series just reminds me of and I don't even remember what year it was, man. But it was some years ago. Playoffs history. Yeah, there we go. It was some years. It was a couple years ago. This was a Pistons team that didn't stand a chance, but they snuck in as the eighth seed. Cavs. They got swept. I know they got swept. Season. Let me see. Playoffs. No, I can't find it. But anyway, it was Andre Drummond, Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, KCP, maybe Bruce Brown. But this was a team that had no. This team was not threatening to win a championship. They were an eighth seed. They got into the playoffs, and first matchup was Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, LeBron James, Cleveland Cavaliers, and every one of those games came down to the fourth quarter, the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, and I always felt like they could have got one, but the Cavaliers won all four, swept the Pistons, and then they went on to the NBA championship. So, the Pistons, they definitely could have won this game, though, to your point. They could have won this game, but at the same time, the Knicks they've been there before. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm pretty sure he's been to conference championships. Jalen Brunson, he was on the Mavericks with Luka Doncic. They was making a run. Tom Thibodeau, like I said, he was on the Bulls when they was going to the Eastern Conference championship. So Mikal Bridges, he was in the championship against the Bucks. He was in the championship. So this team, man, they've been battle tested. So it's just a bad matchup for. I mean, a lot of teams would be a bad matchup, but they just don't match up well with the Knicks.
So what? But I think where I'm trying to get at is, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Knicks. I don't want to do it. I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to take anything away from the Knicks or trying to say that the Knicks aren't a good team. I think what I'm getting at is that it would be different if the Pistons weren't making all these mistakes and they were just getting blew out the water. But that's not what's happening. They're toe to toe with the Knicks, and on top of that, they're making all these mistakes. I think that's where I'm at with it. And it's like, if you can make all these mistakes and still be in a close game, like, if you cut these mistakes out, then what happens?
Yeah, but it's just, I mean, we just on two separate things, because my thing is, are you making mistakes or are they forcing you into mistakes because they're a better team? I know you don't feel like this, but the way I'm looking at it is that the Pistons are the Washington Commanders and the Knicks are the Detroit Lions. And how that game should have went is how this series is going. Now, could the Washington Commanders put up a fight? I mean, they won the game, but they should have just been putting up a fight. They should have been. Washington should have been talking about, had we not made this mistake or had we not did this, we could have beat the Detroit Lions. They did beat the Detroit Lions, so you get my point. It's like,
I get what you say.
Yeah, the Knicks are the better team, and when it comes down to the end of it, they make the more clutch. They make the better decisions. And the Pistons, they mess up. They turn it over. They miss their shots just because they just not there yet.
No, and I get that, and I see where you're coming from. So I can accept that, because, like I said, man, the Pistons seem like they take a lot of bad, like, opportunistic shots. And the Knicks seem like they take more calculated, open look shots, and that comes down to it. And I would say that comes down to experience. Yeah, but to answer my question, but to my point earlier, do you think that has anything to do with JB Bickerstaff not drawing up the right plays?
Nah, it comes down to what you just said, making shots, and that's been the story of this whole series because, Carl Anthony Towns. Oh my God, man! I mean, it was like 2 seconds left on the clock. They had him like 7 feet behind the 3-point line. He pushes Duran off and he hits a three, cold-blooded three. And I mean that's the type of shots, we're not making that shot. And what it comes down to, man, is we lost this game by 1 point. And when you look at the box score, I don't want to put it on these guys, but I mean I'll just put it on the whole team. When you look at the box score, Tobias Harris 0 for 3 from 3-pointer. Sar Thompson 0 for 1. Tim Hardaway Jr. 4 for 13. Cade Cunningham 0 for 3. And then the best 3-point shooter on the team, Malik Beasley, 3 for 9. I mean, somebody just got to hit a freaking three, man. Is one of these guys hits one more three, you might be looking at a different game.
So you know my thing on the 3-pointer, man. I think the 3-pointer is so overvalued. I like 3-point shots, and 3-point shots can come in handy, but if the 3-pointer is not falling, can't you step in closer and get more high percentage shots? I mean, the 3-pointer is supposedly supposed to be the most difficult shot in the game. So if it's not falling, take a couple steps forward and get a higher percentage shot. And like I said, like I've been saying, man, not only are they not taking those closer shots, but when they take the threes, it's always a nick in their face. It's always somebody, in their vicinity, dog. It's like, but when I see the Knicks take these shots, the ball gets spread around, it gets passed around, and the Knicks are wide open when they're taking these shots. But the Pistons are not. They're taking the most difficult shots I've seen. They go ahead.
The Knicks are wide open because the Pistons are not playing good defense. They're playing okay defense. They play defense in spurts. Sometimes they play great defense, and then sometimes it's just lapses. It's just lapses. Asar Thompson is kind of in space right now. Like he's so focused on Jalen Brunson that he's not contributing really anything else to this team. And he's really the wild card of this team. And you need him to be more involved in the offense. And he's really not doing anything offensively. He's getting caught up. And then when he's not playing defense on Jalen Brunson, a 3-pointer that Josh Hart comes to mind where the ball came to Josh Hart with 2 seconds left. And Asar Thompson kind of half-heartedly closed him out. Josh Hart knocked it down. But the last thing I'll say, man, is again, like you answering your own question because you saying that they're taking, too many threes or they're not good looks at three and you would prefer them take it in. But then earlier you said every time you look at Cade driving to the basket, it's 3 guys in the paint waiting for him. So
yeah, but that's where you pass the ball around and you get a better shot. Like I feel like the Pistons are so. I don't want to say they selfish with the ball, man, but it's just like a extra pass. Even if Cade is drawing those 3 guys in on them, one more pass gets you an open shot.
Yeah, it's just that a lot of times Asar Thompson is that open shot, and he's not a good shooter. Jalen Duran is not a shooter. Tobias Harris. It's going to go to Tobias Harris. It's going to go to Malik Beasley, and it's going to go to Tim Hardaway Jr. And like I said, they were from 3-point. And
that brings me back. And that brings me back to my point of where's the second superstar? It can't be Tobias Harris. It can't be Beasley.
7. They were they were like 7 for like 25 from 3-point. So yeah, I'm with you. They need a second star. They definitely do. And I don't know what that's going to look like this offseason. I don't know how you get that guy. Jaden Ivey would only net you so much. I don't even know if they want to do that, but more than likely they're going to want to see a full season with Jaden Ivey and Cade on the court, and then Jaden Ivey's going to have one more year left on his contract, and he's really not going to be worth much in trading. So I don't know how they do it.
I am on the opposite side of the fence with you on that. I'm with the Pistons on that. I want to see this team with Jaden Ivey, man. I want to see if they can make that work with Jaden Ivey. If not, fine. If not, fine. But you need a second guy. I think the second guy is Jaden Ivey. You don't think so? But we'll find out this upcoming season. But with that being said, man, to close this thing out, let's go into the game in New York, man. What is this? Is the series done? Can the Pistons win another game? Can they bring it back to Little Caesars Arena? And if we do go to New York and win a game, can we just opt out of coming home and play another game in New York?
Hey man, the whole time you were talking, I was thinking like, man, they play better on the road, so they might win the game. But yeah, no, coming back to LCA, it just definitely felt like they were trying to. They weren't used to playing with a crowd like that. You know, it's one thing to play like that on the road. You're used to walking in being the bad guys, but LCA hasn't been. It's not like LCA had a couple of good turnouts this season, but yeah, nothing like that. Lions have been showing up all year, but you had Dan Campbell in the building. I think this is probably the second game Jared Goff's been to all year. J-Mo was in the building. Jameer was probably there too. Spike Lee was in the building. Jalen Rose. The stars. Chauncey. Zeke was in the
Tim
building.
Hardaway.
Yeah, everybody. Tim Hardaway is like at every game though. Credit to him.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, man. I think they could win in New York. Like you said, man, every game is gonna come down to the wire. We talked about that before the series. Every game is gonna be very competitive. I would love for them to win just one more game. I would just be very happy with that. I don't know if they will. Like I said, it kind of seems like once the Pistons got that one victory, it woke up the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns is hell bent on not losing to the Pistons, and even though Jalen Brunson took a lot of heat for his antics in the earlier games, he's kind of locked in, man. Like he's kind of showing why everybody gets so frustrated with Jalen Brunson, because doing all the flopping and flailing and and he still did some in this game, but he's definitely turned it down from what he was doing earlier in the series, and he just quietly goes out there and gets you 30 plus per game. And so can they win another one? Yes. Will they win another one? I'm not sold on it.
Detroit